Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Through the pain,
I have to bury my 7-year-old baby. I'll never get to touch her again.
a heartbroken mother shares her heartbreak and pleads for clues just hours after her little girl died from a gunshot.
The Tigers have a new leader in the clubhouse. He got a World Series ring, but there's one thing about A.J. Hinch that has plenty of fans scratching their heads over this hire.
We're going to start, though, with breaking news happening right now on Detroit's east side. That's where police say an armed man has barricaded himself inside a home with a gun. This is happening at a home on Concord Street, right in the area of 7 Mile and Mound. And police are telling folks in the neighborhood to shelter in place. Let's get to Mara McDonald, who is live at the scene here as we come to you at 5 o'clock. Mara.
Hi, Devin, and he has a hostage inside that house. Let me show you. I got to be judicious in exactly what we show, simply because the Detroit Police Department's SWAT team is out here, and they're in various areas around this neighborhood. But this has been going on for 5 hours. Let me take you through what started a little after noon.
Of the 1800 block of Concord, there's a police situation.
Police say the 42-year-old man inside the home is having a mental health episode. He's schizophrenic and bipolar and had a run-in with his family members today who called police. They believe he is off his medication. When police came to the home, he was armed and threatening himself and his girlfriend, who remains inside with him.
He produced a handgun, made threatening motions towards his girlfriend, who was in the residence. The officers backed off, called for a supervisor. They attempted again to make contact. He made threats to his safety and her safety. The supervisor wisely declared us a barricaded gunman.
Police describe the situation in that house as very tense. They say she is very scared. They have the neighborhood blocked off and are asking neighbors to stay inside.
Our special response team responded. They have taken over control of the location, and they have been in regular communications with both the subject, the armed subject, as well as the victim.
Police have remained almost glacially calm out here, even though there has been some anger over the area being blocked off. Back here live, this shows no signs of ending anytime soon. Detroit police look like they're dug in for the long haul. We're live on Detroit's east side. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
Okay, Mara, thank you. And now to heartbreaking new developments in the shooting of a 7-year-old on Detroit's east side. We've now learned that little girl has died.
Reginae Williams was sleeping on the couch inside a home on Bedford when she was hit by a bullet that came from a drive-by shooter. Larry Spruill joins us live with more. And Larry, Reginae's mother spoke about what happened today.
And Devin and Kimberly, I have to be honest with you, that mother showed so much strength when she spoke earlier this afternoon. But the fact is, a 7-year-old girl is dead tonight, and many are wondering, when will enough be enough?
Reginae was 7 years old. Such a sweet, sweet, beautiful baby who was doing nothing but in her home with her family, sleeping. It's sad when you can't go to sleep because you don't know if you'll wake up again.
Those are the words from a grieving mother speaking about the murder of her 7-year-old daughter, Reginae Williams.
Rest in peace, Nene. Sleep with the angels, baby.
Little Reginae was shot in the head while sleeping on the couch inside a home on Bedford Street near Outer Drive and Mack Avenue Wednesday night. Now, police say those bullets came from a drive-by shooter. She was taken to the hospital Friday afternoon. She died. Although the mother heartbroken, she had this to say for her daughter's killer.
Please turn yourself in. You know what you did. You took a 7-year-old's life. You destroyed the life of 8 other children. You destroyed my life. You destroyed my husband's life, my family's life. We will never be the same again.
Police recently released this security video of the suspect's vehicle, a dark blue or black older model of a Ford Crown Victoria or Mercury. And police say that suspect's car drove around that neighborhood several times before firing those deadly shots. Now, if you know anything about this case, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers or police. There is a GoFundMe account set up. That information is on our website, clickondetroit.com. We're live tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
All right, Larry. Now to the coronavirus and today's numbers. Today, the state confirms 3,168 new cases of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. Along with that, 11 new deaths from COVID-19 have been reported. And with these increasing numbers, we asked our Dr. Frank McGeorge how concerned he is about hospitalizations and the potential impact on patient care.
The increase that we're seeing in hospitalizations shows that the change in numbers isn't just from more testing or finding asymptomatic people more often. More hospitalizations signals that there are genuinely more people getting seriously ill from COVID. So far, we have maintained hospital capacity, but just like we saw in the spring or certainly in more rural areas, hospital beds can fill suddenly. And remember, when someone is admitted, it's not usually a short stay. Our capacity is finite, and when we exceed it, care suffers.
Okay, Dr. McGeorge, thank you. Now to some very big news today from the Detroit Tigers. The team has hired a new manager.
Former Astros manager A.J. Hinch is going to take the reins after Ron Gardenhire, of course, stepped down during this past season. Let's bring in Bernie. Hinch, Bernie, coming fresh off of one of baseball's biggest ever scandals.
No question, absolutely. But I will say this, he went right at it. He faced it head on in the press conference today. And the Tigers didn't waste a lot of time in finding a new manager. Today they made it official. A.J. Hinch, who won that controversial World Series with the Astros in 2017, got a multi-year deal to lead the team. We've got highlights of Hinch, who was running the Astros when their sign-stealing scandal came to light. He was suspended from baseball for 1 year. That suspension ended Tuesday night after the World Series. Hinch said today the Tigers have nothing to do with what he did in the past.
It's not a part of the players that I'm going to be managing, and I'm sorry that they're going to have to deal with it, and then again that we're going to have to talk about it. But that is our reality, because wrong is wrong, and it was very wrong. And I'll make sure that everybody knows that I feel responsible because I was the manager, and it was on my watch.
There's your new manager of the Tigers, A.J. Hinch. The Tigers wanted him so badly that they called him 30 minutes after the World Series Game 6 ended. That's when his suspension ended, and Al Avila was on the phone with them. Much more coming from A.J. Hinch, who was quite honest and quite forthcoming today. Kids, back to you.
Yeah, fascinating development. All right, Bernie, we'll have more coming up from you in just a bit.
Well, with 4 days to go until the presidential election, both candidates are crisscrossing the country at a breakneck pace.
And it had President Trump making his second stop here in Michigan this week. It was today at the Oakland County International Airport. Let's bring in Rod Maloney, who's live. Rod, we actually saw the president do the same marathon of rallies here back in 2016.
Exactly, and he's planning it right on through coming up into Monday night on election eve. Now, the president, we heard on Wednesday, gave roughly the same speech that he had, but he made a couple of changes, made sure he took a shot at Governor Whitmer, and of course he made COVID a central theme. The massive, enthusiastic, and chilly crowd braved high winds and welcomed the president, who could not resist going after Governor Gretchen Whitmer, eliciting the same response he's been getting from Michigan crowds for weeks.
We got to get our governor to open up our state here, don't we? Don't worry. On November 4th, they'll announce all these states, all these Democrat-run states will be open. Blame me every time that happens, every time I mention her name.
President Trump said President Biden would delay vaccines and shut down the nation to deal with COVID, contrasting what he views as his optimistic approach.
But if Biden wins, the recovery will end and a long economic nightmare, just like he said on the debate. Gonna have a dark winter. That was really depressing.
President Trump hearkened back to historic Michigan figures, vehicles, and music, and he warned this election is about Michigan's very economic survival.
A vote for Biden is a vote to extinguish, demolish, and wipe out Michigan's auto industry and many of your other industries.
Now, the president also said that his optimistic vision of dealing with COVID has to do with the fact that the vaccines are on the way. He also stated that hospital deaths with COVID that are COVID-related are down 85%. Now, he jetted off to Green Bay, Wisconsin right after he left here. He's then going on to Rochester, Minnesota. Interesting story there because they're limiting his crowd to 250 people. He said they thought he'd cancel. He said, no, we're not. We're going to be there tonight. Back to you.
Now, Rod, the campaign stops, though, are going to continue and keep coming right through the weekend.
Right. Donald Trump Jr., President Obama, Joe Biden, they're coming this weekend. And President Trump, is going to be back on Monday making another barnstorm, trying to recreate the magic that he had 4 years ago.
Yeah, his last campaign stop of 2016 in Grand Rapids, as we recall. All right, Rod.
And Joe Biden is also zeroing in on the Midwest with fewer than 100 hours to go before Election Day. Today, the former VP held rallies in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and earlier held a campaign stop in Iowa, where he had this to say about mask wearing and coronavirus.
Dr. Fauci called last week for a mask mandate. This isn't a political statement. It's patriotic duty, for God's sake. But still, Donald Trump refuses to listen to science.
With Biden in Michigan tomorrow with President Obama, President Trump is going to be in another hotly contested battleground state, Pennsylvania.
We've made it to Halloween weekend and another gray October day all across Metro Detroit. We are in a rut here.
Yeah, well, let's get over to Andrew. He's in for Ben tonight with a look at what we've got coming for the weekend. Hi, Andrew.
Hey there, Kimberly and Devin. But something to look forward to put a smile on our faces. Plus, it's been dry all day despite the clouds overhead, so another reason to go ahead and rejoice, everybody. We've got temperatures in the 30s, so as you make your way out for some last-minute shopping for Halloween, whether it's for treats, for costumes, decorations, or all three, 35 right now for our friends in Pontiac, while it's 38 over at Metro Airport. Yes, we have gray skies, but it's Friday after all. The weekend starts tomorrow. We save an extra hour of sleep into the weekend as well. It's 38 right now. Just make sure you bundle up as you head out. It remains dry through this evening and tonight. We'll talk more about that sunshine for tomorrow and where temperatures go for Halloween and the next 7 days coming up.
Okay, Andrew, much more to come here on a Friday. Here's Tim Pampline.
Last year, police shut down what they called a bootleg zoo operation. Well, now we have an update. All charges against that exotic animal keeper have been dismissed.
This guy can run about 42 miles per hour.
We'll introduce you to the exotic animal keeper, and he'll tell you who he says framed him up.
All right, Tim. Also, an all-out search for survivors in the rubble. New tonight, a massive earthquake rocks parts of Turkey and Greece. Doc?
The CDC says traditional trick-or-treating is a high-risk activity, but I know that many families are planning to go anyway. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, from the costumes to the candy, I'll share the steps everyone can take to reduce the risk.